Welcome back
Yeah.
to the Swider Show, everyone. We're back this week. We got our mics. We're ready to go. Patty and I live from Miami and New York City. Um, and yeah, man, we're back. We're back, Patty.
Swider.
Episode 41.
Yeah, we're
41.
calling it the James Posey episode. I think
Wow, I
that's
like that.
accurate. You know
I like
why?
that.
Because Swider Show's heading to Miami.
Let's
Bring it around.
bring it around, man.
Uh,
Let's bring it around. Yep.
Swider, congrats. The news broke in between. We had notions of announcing it on our show, but our guy Shams beat us to the punch, which I think was better for notoriety, for publicity. And I saw a lot of comments noting the show, but yeah, Swider, congratulations, man. How's it feel?
It was good, man. Like I said in the last episode, I'm going to have another opportunity. I'm going to have the hopefully I'm blessed enough that this opportunity is going to give me the potential to make an NBA roster. And I was talking to a couple of my assistant coaches with the Lakers, and they were just telling me like, make the best decision for you for next year at this time to potentially be on an NBA roster. And I think Miami just with the track record that they have, I could name 10 guys that they've had
Yeah.
over the last couple of years who started as an Exhibit 10, who have then made the jump to a two-way, and then they get converted to a contract, and then the rest goes from there. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, and most recently Orlando Robinson.
Hmm.
Even a Jamal Cain started as an E10, who's a two-way now. So really excited for this opportunity, man. They kind of went after me in the whole entire process. Um, and yeah, man, I'm really excited to be here. I've been here for the past week, and it's been a great experience. I got here on Sunday and recording this on Wednesday, and it's been a great experience so far. The Miami Heat culture is real. A conditioning test the first day we got here. Um,
Really?
yeah,
What does that
real
entail?
lifts. So right now it's not too bad. Um, so you basically go 10 touches. So one, two, three, four,
Hmm.
full court lengths. You got to do it under 60 seconds, and it's you got to do it twice in a row. So right now it's not too bad, but I guess before training camp it ends up being you got to be able to do five. So
Five. Oh, five in a
you got
row
yeah
rather than two.
you got to yeah, you got to
Oh,
make
that
five of
sounds
them.
miserable.
You got to make
That's
five of
like
them.
the
So
stuff of lore. Like you see that all the time. That makes the rounds of the heat
yeah,
culture. It seems like that's what it starts with. The training camp conditioning test.
yeah, for sure. But I love all that stuff, man. If you guys know me, I pride myself on being a hard worker. I think I've talked about that a lot on this show, and
Hmm.
just kind of fits me, right? I think like we're working on defense and these workouts and talking about defensive philosophies and all this stuff. And I mean, that's only going to help me become a better player and a better defender. And I
Hmm.
mean, not a lot of people have a question about my offense. It's been about my defense. So
Right.
it's great to kind of be working on that because this might be one of the only teams in the whole entire NBA where you're working on defense in August. So it's really beneficial for me, and I think I've already gotten a little bit better, and I'll be able to sharpen my skills a little bit being with the Miami Heat.
Yeah. So I do want to get into the whole entire decision making process. Apologies if there's probably going to be a little bit of overlap between our conversation last week, but that was super brief.
Yeah,
But first thing, how different does this feel rather than last year on draft night when you signed the two way with the Lakers?
yeah, it feels a lot different, man. I think when you get offered a two-way on draft night, like you just go with the situation. You know what I mean? It's like they kind of chose you. Um, and I didn't really have the luxury of choosing multiple situations. It was like, all right, the Lakers offer a two-way. Nico was like, hey, like, we're gonna take this? Yeah, let's take it. Let's go. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And then this time, um, obviously when you get waived, there's a whole bunch of emotions that go into that, right? Like I said in last week's episode, like I have no resentment towards the whole entire Lakers situation. I gave it everything I had and tried to make it work. And hopefully, there's a time in my career where there might be an opportunity to go back there. But
Right.
I, I think just for the situation in general, like there's a whole bunch of emotions that go into it, and then you take that day to or those day or 2 days to kind of think about that, and then you're really about like what's the next move? Is it to go back to the Lakers on a training camp deal? Is it to explore your other options? The Lakers were very adamant about they had a spot open for me if I wanted to come back on a training camp deal and potentially fight for a roster spot or fight for my two-way back. Because they had valued me in that system. But I thought for me, just being there for the whole entire year, it was uh, best to look at other opportunities and just see what else was out there.
Yeah, Nico's your agent, by the way. We'll probably reference
Yep.
him a bunch of times throughout the podcast. Great too. How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Filipovic or Filopovich?
No, Nico Falapovic. Yep. And Nico
Filipovic. All right,
Falapovic
shorty.
and Bill Duffy
Right.
are my agents. Yep.
Yeah, great job running the ones and twos, getting you where you need to go.
Exactly.
But I think what I kind of touched on this last week, but was I don't know how to word it like properly, but was there any did it completely come out of left field with the waving, and then from there, like that night, you go like diving right into to evaluating where you're going?
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I don't think you can be shocked by anything in this business, and that's what Nico told me. Is like, hey man, like you can't really be shocked by anything, but like, even he said like I was very surprised, and I thought I could have played better in summer league. I thought I could have done a couple of things better, but I think overall I had a successful summer league. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I think the last game kind of capped it off of being a success. I wish we had a little bit more team success. That would have been great. But I think overall, I played hard. I did the right things. I shot the ball pretty well. Um, and I was playing through some things that are just out of your control. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wasn't wearing the leg sleeve for fashion.
It
Um,
looked good though.
yeah, I was wearing it to try and help my quad. But at the end of the day, like I said, I have no resentment towards the situation. I don't think back to it of having any regrets. Like I worked my tail off every single day. I made so many great relationships, and like I said last week, it's the messages from the people around the organization, like our travel guy and our nutritionist, and I just got hit up by our public relations guy, just
Yeah.
just thanking me for being a great person the whole entire year. Um, and then also just hearing again from our G League general manager saying how much he wants me back, and that means a lot. But at the same time, you got to look out for what's best for your future. But yeah, I would say I was definitely surprised by the decision. We had conversations after summer league, and it looked like I was going to be back, and then they decided to make a change and sign someone else in my position. So,
Right.
I mean, it happens. Like there's a lot of people in the NBA who have been waived before, right? Like even like a
Yeah.
guy like Max Strus got waived by two different situations, Boston and Chicago, and then ended up in Miami, and it was a great fit and opportunity for him to kind of keep going. So I think just the NBA is all about opportunity and fit, and when you're choosing your next situation, like for example, like Max Strus and I on draft night, he gets a call from the Celtics. Oh, you take that two way. I got a call from the Lakers. You take that two way. Um, is it the best basketball fit? You don't really know at the time because you're going for the opportunity. You're going for like a chance to make an NBA roster. Um, but when you get waived by that situation, then you clear waivers, which is the waivers is a 48-hour period after you get released or waived by a team, where a team can essentially pick up your contract.
Yeah.
So I was on a 2-year 2A at the time, and they could pick up my contract, and I would go to that team. So once you clear waivers, it's kind of up to you to pick that next situation and the best possible fit. So I had about 10 to 12 teams that were offering me basically the same deal, which is an Exhibit 10 deal. The Exhibit 10 deal, for those who don't know, is a training camp deal. Um,
I'm raising my hand because I don't really know what that
yeah,
is.
yeah. So the Exhibit 10 deal is a training camp deal, and with a training camp deal, it's $50,000 on top of the G League salary. So a lot of guys who are kind of like in like that middle of like a G League player or an NBA player, they sign that Exhibit 10 contract, go to training camp with the team, get an opportunity to compete in training camp, and then essentially most of the Exhibit 10s get sent down to um, the G League team, and then they have your rights with the G League.
Mhm.
Um, Almost every single team I talked to was Exhibit 10 with the opportunity to earn a two-way in camp. Like that was the message that I was receiving. Most of the teams did have an open two-way, so it was visible to kind of see that opportunity in that road. But I think for me, it was all about choosing the best possible fit. As of right now, Miami Heat do have three two-ways, but the two-way is a non-guaranteed contract, as you guys can see how
Yeah.
I got waived in that situation with the Lakers. So the one thing that's great about the Miami Heat is that I think that they do have an open competition every single training camp. They do have an open competition every single day to compete, to get after it, to get real reps, and have an opportunity to go in there and earn a spot. And
Mhm.
when looking at those opportunities, it just seemed like a great fit. Like I said before, with all the success they've had with undrafted guys and kind of like those diamonds in the rough kind of guys in their history.
Is that like really factoring into your decision? The history of that? It has to, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you look at the NBA, there's only so many teams who really give their two ways a real opportunity to go
Hmm.
in there and play major minutes. This past year, Jamal Cain, he played 20 real games and got real NBA looks, and he got brought back on a qualifying offer to Miami Heat. Orlando Robinson got 32 real games, started a game for the Heat last year, and he got brought back on a contract. So, like when you are in a situation where you don't have a 2A offer visible in front of you on that day, you have to look at all those situations and see who's really benefited and who's gotten that opportunity from those teams when you're competing for a 2A in camp essentially. Um, and there's some situations like, I mean, it's not always like this with the Lakers, but last year we didn't get a lot of opportunity with the top
Hmm.
team. The two, like we were mostly in the G League, which was a great experience. Have nothing but great things to say about South Bay and the organization and how great you're treated and the
Right,
amenities
right,
and
right.
being in the same practice facility and getting to use the same weight room and cold tubs and hot tubs and
Hmm.
sauna and all those things, right? But there was not a lot of opportunity given to the two ways to kind of go up there and show what you could do. And I think that's ultimately the reason why I didn't get a two way after I got waived. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there was no real NBA experience. And you look at the guys who got two ways at this year right away. It was a guy like Dylan Windler, who was a first round pick. It was a guy like Nathan Knight, who has real NBA reps, and who was on. They were both on standard contracts last year. Um, so I'm excited, man.
Where did Windler sign with?
The New York Knicks on the two way.
He's Belmont, right?
Uh
Lefty.
huh.
Yep, all over that.
So I mean, it's a situation I'm in. I'm excited for it. I'm happy I get to compete and be a part of such a great organization, Miami Heat.
Hmm. I love how you keep saying Miami Heat too. You're not just saying the Heat.
No, Miami Heat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Real officials like the Ohio State Buckeyes. I love that. But going back to the decision. So right away, are you giving yourself like a timetable? Like it took almost what 10 days, 2 weeks to finally make the call, but right away are you and Nico sitting down, you're like, we gotta get in the door by this time for you to actually like have enough time before training camp to kind of prove yourself?
Yeah, there's no like real rush, and there's different ways to attack this, right? You can a go with the best option that you think is possible. You could b go to like mini camps during this time and try and prove yourself to each team and see if you can get an opportunity that way. Um, we decided that the best opportunity for me was to commit to an organization for an E10, um, try and find the best possible fit for me, and ultimately just kind of go from there and see where the chips may fall. I know a bunch of guys who had gotten waived who are free agents right now. They're going to mini camps right now and trying to prove themselves to these teams and putting themselves in a really good position and seeing if they like these facilities and the way they run their workouts. It's like just see all these different things before they make a decision. But Nico and I's mentality and Bill's mentality was like
Oh,
let's get into this preseason program with this team that we think is the best fit for you, and let's go from there and give yourself 2 months to really um, be evaluated by the Heat staff. And I'm excited for that opportunity because when you have 2 months to show what you can do compared to like a week before training camp getting brought in by the
right.
team, it's a totally it's a big difference.
I'd imagine this is more individual work too. Like you said, you mentioned off air tomorrow you're playing live, but I don't know. I feel like there's more of a spotlight in you, more of a spotlight on you at this point of the summer when you're like doing individual workouts and actually showcasing your skills rather than like you're saying if you're there for a week and then you launch right into training camp. I feel like it's tough to really stand out when like I don't know, you're doing full team stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when you come 2 months early to a situation, like the vets aren't there every single day, at least playing live, right? So you the the attention's on you every single day and pick up every single day when these workouts are going on. Like Eric Spoelstra was in the gym today, watching us and seeing us. Obviously, like it's great to kind of be around that, right, and be around a decision maker. And just having that access to those guys and ask questions and be
Mhm.
be evaluated, right? Like the assistant GM was in there, Adam Simon, and I think overall it's just a really good situation to be in,
Yeah.
just knowing that they value those E10s and value those two-way guys.
I kind of stay hands off. I get a lot of questions. A lot of people I think thought I made the decision fully. I was 100%. What it kind of directed you towards Miami was looking at situations, which I'll take like 80% of the credit. But the one advice I will give is, you know, the viral video of Spoelstra talking about when LeBron got there and he had his locker
Yeah.
all folded, everything. So if you get when you get your locker and stuff, I would say to you as your friend, maybe fold up the stuff, get the towels cleaned,
Yep.
yeah, organize the shoes. I think you might better your chances there.
Yeah. I mean, it's I agree to that to a certain extent. It's just like all that stuff matters. You know what I mean? The way you approach every single day, it matters. Um, I'm a you know me, Patty. I'm a big like early get there early, two
Oh
hours
yeah, leave
before, and
late, lunch
yeah,
pail,
leave
all that type of
late.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, all
Hmm.
that stuff. I mean, that's just naturally who I am, and that's why I think the Miami Heat is a really good organization for me to
Hmm.
come in and be successful in.
Have you met or talked to Riley yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't. It's funny,
I'm sure Bill has to know him pretty well, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Him and
Yeah.
Bill and Pat have a really good relationship, and that was another reason why choosing Miami Heat was a big it was a big deciding factor. I mean, like I said, like they called Bill right away and made sure that I knew that there's a sense of like I'm a priority in this situation to sign an
Hmm.
E10. Nothing's going to be given to me. I'm going to have to earn everything I get, but
Right,
the
but
interest level
that's
is high.
exactly what you're looking for, like people reaching out
Exactly,
to you rather than you trying to like chase something down.
exactly.
But
So, like I said, like in that situation, like Bill does have a great relationship with Pat Riley, so they're going to give it to Bill straight, and I'm going to know where I stand, which is a great situation.
I think he's one of the more fascinating characters in the history of basketball, Pat Riley. He's like he just succeeds in literally everything he does. He has the sport completely figured out, like how to run an organization.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, him and Phil Jackson are probably the two of the best winners of all time.
Hmm. I need a documentary on Pat Riley, like a very extensive one about his mindset and everything. Maybe we could provide that throughout the year. You start dishing out how he thinks and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
going back to the process, so I don't know how much you want to dive into this, but you do settle on the Heat. In the days leading up, was there a few other candidates that you were kind of like narrowed your list onto? Maybe like let's say this was you were a senior in high school and you're posting top
Yeah,
three with the
yeah,
graphic Tipton edits. Who do you think would
yeah,
have been on that graphic for you?
yeah. I think the teams that expressed the most interest were the Celtics and the Bucks, along with the Heat. Um, so I would say those three teams were the teams that expressed the most interest, and I think by the end of it, for me, it was just about choosing the right situation where they've had guys be successful and a team that values um, their two ways and exhibit tens, right?
Mhm.
Seeing the gradual growth of each team. I mean, I think like seeing a guy like Sam Hauser be successful it was attractive for me to go to Boston. But I think overall, I think just the process of the Miami Heat, how much we fit, it just made it an easy decision to go to Miami
Right.
Heat.
And then how do you actually make the call? This is just like purely out of curiosity. You just call the assistant GM and you're like, hey, man.
No, I just tell Nico calls the Miami Heat, and we agree to terms of the deal.
And then
So
Shams and Nico's are boys, so that's how that gets.
yeah, so I mean, I guess one person reached out to another, and after that, I mean, I know Adam was really waiting for that Shams bomb. So it's a part of the business. Obviously, Shams is pretty well connected, and I think you have to be pretty close to agents when you're in that position because they're gonna leak that information to you pretty quickly.
That's how they're getting the scoops all the time. I mean, when we ran
Sure.
into Shams, he seemed like the most busy guy in the entire world. So no further comment. But so you got there what Sunday? You've just been
Yep.
working out. Before that though, you stayed in LA for a few days. You're
Yep.
texting me about the workouts. You seem to have get involved with some cool runs
Yep.
with some big time players.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love being in that kind of environment in LA because all the pros are there during the summer. right? Even being around Shaq Harrison and being around some of these other guys, like it's a great environment. And then I got to work out with Klay Thompson, who's obviously one of the greatest shooters of all time. I got to work out with Ben Mathurin, who's
Hmm.
obviously a up
You
and
knew him
coming rising
beforehand, right?
star. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I did a lot of pre-draft workouts, like pre-draft work, because we have the same trainer, Charlie Torres, who's obviously
Right.
a Swider Show guest.
Yeah. We gotta
Swider
add
Show alum.
Matherin to the list, and then eventually Clay.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, those guys are great to kind of go up against, compete against, and then and the runs was great. Zach Gonzalez runs the open gym setting and invites all the guys like Frank Kaminsky and um, Nigel Hayes, who played for Wisconsin back in the day. I
Yeah,
know you
man.
know him, Patty.
Oh yeah.
Um, so it's great runs and it provides a lot of competition and it kind of gives you like that. It's it's a telltale of where you are in your development, right? Because you're playing against a lot of these big time players who've made a lot of money. If it's EuroLeague, if it's the NBA, if it's their up and coming stars in the whole entire league. So it was great to be out there. And then working out with Charlie and Zach is obviously top level work. I
Yeah.
mean, you've seen those guys kind of
Yep.
bring me through a workout, and it's great having those guys in LA, and then just having Nico and Rade out there as well. Is great because they can provide the resources and the time and housing if I need it to kind of work out there
Yeah. To go out there.
and not think about it.
How was Clay as a guy? Is he exactly how he is in like the interviews and everything? Just
Uh,
super laid back and so cool.
yeah, no, Clay's the best, man. It was funny because like he would stop the workout and go say what's up to like a 19-year-old kid in the corner who was just like fantasizing, like was happy to just to watch Clay work out. You know what I mean? Like it
Just to
was
make
so
the kid's day.
yeah, it was great.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
he's such like a jumpy like I don't know.
Hmm.
It's funny just to watch him work out because he's just in his own world. He's like a totally different type of human being. And then his brother Mikey, he rebounds every single workout that Clay's doing because he also works for the Warriors as well. He's
Oh,
behind the
really?
bench. He's a behind the bench assistant with the Warriors. So it's just funny, man, just to see him kind of look at Clay like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
the typical like older
Is he
brother.
older than he's
Yeah,
older than Clay? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he is. Yeah,
Where does Trace fall in? Do you know? The one on the Dodgers, or he was on the Dodgers?
I think he's younger. I think he's younger.
Oh, okay. Damn, what a family. That
Uh,
is so cool. You got involved in that.
Pretty athletic family.
Did you have any shooting competitions with Clay?
Yeah, yeah,
How'd those go? You
yeah,
could boast a little bit.
yeah,
They went well.
they went well. They went well. I think I'm shooting the ball at a pretty good clip right now. And those are always win, lose, or draw in those competitions. Like you always feel pretty good coming out of them because like all right, like Clay's one of the best shooters in the world. Duncan Robinson's one of the best shooters in the world. Being able to go toe to toe with those guys, like you feel
You're in a
pretty
good
good
spot.
after. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to walk around saying. I think people thought you were down bad after getting waived, but then I don't know, 3 days later to beat Clay in a shooting contest. It's a
no
good way to
comment.
get back on your feet.
No comment, man. No comment.
All right, I mean that's sweet, like LA stories. Oh, do you think you'll be an LA guy in the off season going forward?
I
Have
don't
you
know,
thought
man.
about that before?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think having Nico out there and Chuck and Zach, like there's a lot of resources, and then even like a guy like Ant Barry who was my strength coach with the Lakers. Um, Even having him is a great
Yeah,
resource out there just to be able to train. Nico has a weight room out there. He has gym access. So I can see myself going out there, staying out there for a little bit, and then I know a bunch of people out there now, so
hmm,
that's obviously a plus. But we'll see, man.
yeah,
I obviously want to spend some more time at home. I didn't get to spend that much time at home this off season. Um, so maybe home, maybe LA for a
yeah.
little
Bounce
bit, and
back and
then
forth. It's not like you got to go for the whole entire summer too. Like, aren't there
yeah,
guys that just go off for a few weeks? I think I saw like
yeah,
Peyton Pritchard doing that.
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I mean, I'm a big like want to be in market, so I want to be in like whatever team city I'm in because that has all the resources too. Like the coaches working
Right.
you out, the cold tubs, the massages, all that stuff. So that's really good too.
Mm. Yeah, I guess you didn't have much downtime though. You go Western Conference Finals right into Summer League, right to figure out your next situation. So it's not like you were
Yeah,
like hanging in LA. But all right. So I mean, just to level set here. Oh, that was a business word. I was running some meetings today, Swider. I said level set a bunch of times.
I like it.
But So you're trying the goal here. I got this question from a few people. You're on the E10. You're looking to prove yourself. You're looking to have a great training camp. From there, is it the two-way deal that you're trying to kind of like take over?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think anytime you're in this situation, like you're not satisfied. At least for me, I'm not satisfied with the E10. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think like moving up to a two way, moving up to a roster spot, like like the whole entire goal behind signing the situation is going to the best situation possible for you to potentially earn a two way and then earn a roster spot. I think the one thing about the E10 that's cool and it's a little different than being on a two way is that you could go to another situation with a two way. So the Boston Celtics could call me tomorrow and be like, "Hey, we're going to sign you to a two way," and
Oh, really?
the Heat can't stop me from going. But the Heat could also be like, "Hey, like we want to keep him," and then my agent could be like, "Hey, like we got this
Okay.
situation over
A little
here."
negotiation.
Yeah, so that
Hmm.
all those things can happen too throughout a season. So on an E10, you get a 10-day call up and potentially make that team. Um, so yeah, man, I think obviously being a two way with this situation would be great, but also having the opportunity to play for all of the 29 teams is a good situation as well.
Hmm. Has it been like intimidate or weird adjusting down there yet, or not really? I mean, you've been there for 2 years or 2 days, but I was thinking like 4 years now. You've gotten four different situations between Nova Cuse, LA, now Miami. So I feel like
Yeah,
you're kind of acclimated to proving yourself in new situations at this point.
man. For me, like I don't try not to put a lot of pressure on myself because like if you looked at myself when I was at Villanova, like I didn't see myself being in the situation. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there was a belief, there was a blind confidence, there was a um, an overall trust in the work that I put in. But if someone were to tell me at Villanova that I would finish my rookie year with the Lakers and have an opportunity to make the Miami Heat roster, I'd be like, I mean,
Where do I sign?
yeah, I would
Yeah.
take that in a heartbeat. So
Mm,
I think just overall, I'm I'm extremely blessed and thankful. I get to play basketball for a living. I get to do what I love every single day, and I think just focused on the grind and the process, everything will take care of itself. I mean,
absolutely.
I think being a man of God, um, nobody's perfect, but if if you don't think, I think Joe Mazzulla had a great quote during the Eastern Conference Finals when they were down 3-0. They were like, "How do you kind of deal with this being down 3-0?" And he's like, "I got to talk to two terminally ill
Hmm.
uh, women under the age of 21, and I thought I was helping them out by talking to them, and they were actually helping me out." And he's like, people when they're when they're on the stage when they're raising a trophy, they always thank God, but it's in moments when you're really in desperate times or when you get knocked off your pivot a little bit where you can thank God as well. So
Hmm.
I think I'm in that type of mindset of just like whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. I'm going to keep on grinding. I'm going to keep on working hard. I'm going to keep on doing the right things, and I think I'll be in a good spot by the end of it.
Yeah, it's definitely been working for you to this point. The other thing is when you approach a situation like that where you're like not nothing you can lose, but like you're saying, it's not the end all be all. Then that's kind of when you like free yourself up and play real well. Um,
Yeah,
but thank you for walking us through that whole process. My last
of
question on it
course.
is, so you've now gone from LA to Miami. How much was
Yeah,
the were you just looking for like the coolest cities in the entire world to
man,
jump from?
man, the humidity out here is crazy, but no, I mean it's definitely a blessing to be able to go from LA to Miami.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, man, I think this whole decision making process, it was the location. No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
It was mainly about the play style, but it definitely worked out in my favor being able to go to LA to
Right.
Miami, and then I mean people keep on asking me like, what's next, Dallas or or back to
Yeah.
LA? Like it's definitely cool to be in both
Or
these
New York,
spots. Yeah, or New
the
York or
greatest cities in the
Boston.
world. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but the G League team, not many people know. The G League team for Miami is actually in South Dakota. So
yep,
geographically it doesn't make the most sense, but I guess you're not in paradise all the time. But Sioux Falls,
yeah,
South Dakota is probably a sweet spot.
yeah. I've actually looked it up, and there's no shade to Syracuse in the statement at all because I love Syracuse with everything, but it kind of reminded me of like a little Syracuse.
Really?
Yeah, like if you look at the city and everything like that, like it kind of reminded me of like a little Syracuse, like that cool
Syracuse vibes?
downtown. yeah, Syracuse vibes. Like I make a joke all the time. If you miss a left in Syracuse, you can put your car in reverse and then go make that left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's one of those places. And
I've
I bet
actually
Sioux
never
Falls.
heard you make that joke. That's a good one. I'm gonna steal that.
Really? You haven't heard that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Fitz probably knows that joke more than anything,
yeah,
but yeah, no, like I love that like little small town vibe and be able to lock in, and I think it would be a good opportunity to just kind of like being like that grind mode. You know what I mean? Hopefully,
right.
we have a great team that gets along and we kind of can just vibe together.
Yeah,
But hopefully, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal is not to be there.
yeah.
It's to grind. But I'm not afraid to go to South Dakota by
Mhm.
any means.
Yeah, I completely agree. The gym there is pretty sweet too, but like you're saying, you'll be at American Airlines for the most part, so we don't have to worry about that too much as
That's the
listeners.
hope, man. That's the hope. I mean, whatever happens, happens. I'm not. I want to be mad either way. Like
Hmm.
whatever his plan is up top. I mean, that's the plan I'm willing
Right.
to go on.
But I think that's why we could close it out with this week's mailbag question of the week. This is from Gorm, my friend Joe Gorman, who submitted. He just
Perfect.
very simple question: how will
Yep.
this new situation impact the pod? Is anything changing? Um, first off, I'll go first. Just some
Yeah.
housekeeping notes. We're debuting a new logo next week. We've had some
Yep.
infighting, some voting within the crew. There might be some branding changes. There might not be, but we will have a color change as the logo right now is still Lakers colors. But yeah, we'll figure that out. It's not fighting. It's more so we're just all trying to maximize how the pod looks for you guys, the listeners and the fans. So yeah, I don't know if you have
You
anything
know
to
what's
add
inconvenient
there.
about
The
having
rest of
four
the crew.
people a part of the podcast is
When you
that
do a vote,
yeah, you
yeah,
can have a 2-2 split, which we had.
right. So maybe we'll actually we could cut this if Adam doesn't want to do it. But I was thinking a good idea could maybe put a poll out Instagram, have the listeners decide which logo they like better, and then we go from there.
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, yeah,
Yep.
let's do it. I think I like
Keep
that. I
them.
just came up with that on the spot. I know I said 2 seconds ago. I lied to everyone that's listening to the podcast right now. I said I've been thinking of this. I thought of that right now. So we're
This
gonna put an
weekend.
Instagram poll out this weekend at Swider Show on Instagram. Go check it out and vote for. I got a feeling you're gonna vote for the one that I prefer. So we're changing up.
Adam
We're
has
probably
something to
gonna go
prove.
with some Q's colors as we are
Keep it
Q's
consistent.
podcast. Yeah. Although I don't know, maybe we could see what the Heat colors look like and go from there. But yeah, that's just a lot the housekeeping item. As far as another like logistical thing, we're now in the same time zone, which is a great thing. Miami, New York City, Syracuse. Well, Lewis is going to LA in a couple weeks, but
Of
that's
course.
temporary. So as far as recordings of the show, for us, it actually might get a little bit easier. Guests opens us up. You don't bury the relationships you have in LA, so I'm sure we'll have more of those guys on. And now being in Miami, you just meet way more guys, more players, more opportunities to get guests. So I don't know. I'm excited about all those things. I don't know what else you have to add, Swider.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm excited for the continuation of the podcast. I think we have a lot more in store for you guys and just
Mm-hmm.
continue on this journey. I think this past year has been great. Obviously, you, Adam, and Jake, like 30% of the time has been great to work with. So man, I'm excited to keep this thing going. And yeah, like nothing for nothing. I mean, we got to kind of take you guys step by step of my rookie year, the good times, the bad times in the G League, up top of the NBA. So it's been a great experience, and I'm excited to even if we don't continue the podcast for 10 more years.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
we'll always have like this vault of kind of memories to go back and be like, oh wow, that was a crazy time when we got to see LeBron break the scoring record.
yeah, it is. It is cool looking back on it. I've done that many times where you look back at the episodes and you like put yourself in that mindset. So, I mean, now it's just like we got a full another year of new content.
Yeah.
So the pod doesn't sleep, but yeah, neither does Swider. I think we could sign off here.
For sure.
Congratulations again.
Yep.
Unbelievable opportunity. Very exciting. And yeah, go Heat. We're number one Heat culture guys now. We're Mr. Heat. So yeah, and I'm sure all the listeners agree. So good on you, Swider.
Yeah, man. Excited for this new opportunity. Appreciate you guys listening this week. And you're going to hear a great outro from Patty once again. So signing off from this show. And we're excited to bring you guys some guests and new content next week.